Well, all right. Here we are, Pure Officiating Virtual Study Group number 161. It's 7 o'clock Central, so I think it's time to.
Daniel, you're lying to the people. It's 7:01 Central. Don't even lie. Don't even lie.
That's true, but I'm both surprised and super proud of you for acknowledging that, since it was you we were waiting on in the pre-production meeting, and that caused that 1 minute delay. So apologies to the community and the universe. Just like we do in the field, we're just steady working, trying to get better tonight. But you know what that means? 7 o'clock Central-ish. It's time.
We've said that 161 straight weeks.
I wish I could just get through this introduction without getting interrupted. That's really all I would like to happen for the rest of this evening. If I can do that, I'll just be super happy. I forgot what I was going to say. We're going to watch some plays and probably talk about football and how to referee football. I think that's what we're here for. I'm totally thrown off now. I don't know what I'm here.
Apparently, you don't know how to ad lib.
Tutai, you had a game last week. How'd it go, man?
I did. We had some challenges, man. I'll be brutally honest.
Okay.
We were awful in the first half.
Help us learn from your challenges.
We were awful in the first half. We just weren't very good. And it all stems from communication. Everything is communication.
Okay.
And we were not very good with communication. And we weren't very good with trusting each other to do our own individual jobs. So we weren't really working well together as a crew, I thought.
Did you feel that when it was happening?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And one of the other challenges, we have these radios, these O2O, official to official is what O2O stands for those of you who are not in the know. We have these O2O systems that are not very good. My O2O didn't work. So it's nothing worse than having a system where the person who is communicating with you thinks that you know what they're saying, and there's an understanding that they've communicated something to you. And I heard literally nothing of almost no one all day on the O2O. I couldn't communicate with them. They couldn't communicate with me. And it was just frustrating. And that probably added to some of my feeling of us not working very well together.
Wonder if that's why your mic didn't work too.
The microphone didn't work because the University of Tulsa, it was like their first ever football game in the history of football.
Oh.
It was.
I had that experience 2 weeks ago. It was also Rice's first ever football game ever.
Jeez, we're just calling higher institutions of learning out now. Is that
no,
what
yes.
I mean, okay. I'm sure they're watching, but
they're watching.
Yeah, the dude changed my battery out like 4 different times. I asked, do we need to do a check? It was just an embarrassment. It was horrible. It just was just horrible. So you put all that stuff together.
For who?
Me mostly. When I decided to enforce a penalty that was clearly going to be declined on third down.
Your mic worked on that play. I saw.
It worked perfectly, right?
Oh yeah.
That was the first time of the entire game it worked, and it was right in the most embarrassing moment of the game. So yeah,
I think embarrassing's a little bit strong of a word, but
yeah. Well, I have high standards. Let's put it.
You had a nice call.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Communication is so hard to know, like how to, like what adjustment do you make? Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like
I know.
It's really hard.
So you're talking about this O2O failure, and unfortunately, an O2O failing should not be. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around how.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
How can that be a failure in communication?
Right. Because on paper, that makes sense, Brandon. But in practicality, it doesn't make sense.
Why?
Had we not had the O2O, we would have performed better than if we had it and thought that it was functioning.
Well, that's where I'm going. Like, we have turned the corner, and now they're not a supplemental mechanic. They're an integral mechanic. And it's not right. Like, it's not what we want it to be.
Well, just communicating substitutions. That I'll give you one example. Communicating substitutions. That was an extreme challenge.
Wow.
And it's just
only there was a signal for that.
Well, a signal doesn't do any good if everyone's used to working with a audible prompt.
Trigger.
Let's
Yeah.
put it like that. Yeah.
No,
So,
I agree, but that again, that's just the supplement.
I know you preach it to the
our
choir.
Normal signal.
You preach it to the choir.
I know.
Yep.
It's kind of, like at camps, every right. We've had 9 camps.
Yep.
We've had let's just say we've had an average of 7 crews per camp, because some camps we've had 6, some camps we've had 8.
Yep.
Let's just say it's average at 7.
Yep.
7 times 9, as far as I know, is 63. So
Yep.
we've had 63 crews.
That was pretty good there, Brandon.
Thanks.
I'm impressed.
How many questions about O2Os going into camp have we had?
100 million.
63.
I'll give you a hint. It's a number I've already said. So just about, and it's not true, but just about every crew asked, should we bring our O2O?
All right.
And every time I'm just like, I have no idea. Like,
Right.
I guess if you want, I don't know. I don't know. We're not, maybe we should think about that differently. I think we actually got some feedback on that from a camper once. Like, you should just tell us, bring it or don't bring it. So then we know. It's like, that's fine. But I think our response is the same. It's like, I guess, yeah, you can bring it because it's kind of part of our game. But, actually, we're kind of working on fundamentals and just getting better in our processes. So not really sure we want to rely on that. But bring it if you want, So we kind of are wishy-washy. But it's
Right.
It's such a part of what we do now. And you're right, though. When it fails, man, now you're off your game. Everybody's worried. Oh, the referee's O2O is down. I'm sure there were, like, calls to, a certain office in a certain location in Texas about your O2O that day. Like, I'm sure it was headline news in officiating. It's just unreal, right?
Right.
What we're doing with this stuff now. And I'm sure everybody, whoever works without an O2O and who did for years and years, probably did okay.
Absolutely. And I would prefer if we go back to that way. In fact, I would rather just trash the things. If they're not going to work, I'm perfectly fine working the entire rest of the season without the O2O. I'm perfectly fine.
Especially if yours isn't working, guys should just turn them off. It should be like the play clock. If one's not working, just turn all the play clocks are off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know there's only 2 play clocks, but whatever. It's good. It's a really, really good analogy.
If you say so yourself. I love when people
Keeping the play
random
clock
average statements, like average at best statements, and say, "Oh, that's a really good analogy."
about their own poor
Right.
analogy.
It was average at best.
Average at best. Well, I agree though. I think everybody should have pulled the plug since yours was out. That would have made it a lot better, honestly.
Yeah. Well, here's the worst part. It intermittently worked. So it's like it was just horrible. We just struggled.
Well, yeah, you now have something to talk about. Maybe propose it. Like, I don't know. The next time that happens, I think we're just going to pull the plug on them and just go to physical signals only.
No, because now we got to communicate with the replay communicator.
Oh,
we got
yeah,
all that
that'll
other stuff
never
that we got to do.
I know, but you couldn't hear him anyways. So what's the point?
Because other people heard him and were relaying it to me. If you think, well, let me not say that. I was about to say something. I'm not going to say that. Yeah. We just need to continue communicating with the replay booth. And here's what was even greater. Right before the game, and we ran out to do the coin toss, and I was summoned over to the sideline replay assistant, which I'd already checked all the equipment before, so I didn't quite understand what was going on. They told me the headset doesn't work. I have to use this contraption with a walkie-talkie and an earpiece. Exactly. Thankfully, we had 0 replays because I didn't want to stand there with this earpiece and walkie-talkie crap, looking like a clown trying to do a replay. I mean, it was just God. I'm not going back.
We're throwing all the universities under the bus. One time in Air Force, their thing was down too. I had an old-fashioned phone that like you would see in your grandparents' house,
The rotary dial.
the rotary dial mounted to the wall.
Right.
That's what we did replays off of. It was just great.
God.
I don't know. We somehow lived through it, but
Yeah, but it's just ridiculous, man. I know it's first world problems, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even get into
that was
what the
fun.
locker room smelled like either. That's a whole other story. Jesus.
Wow.
I'm going to talk to OSHA tomorrow. I have an appointment with OSHA tomorrow. I'm just going to say that.
I was going to make a Bill Bishop umpire joke, but I'm just going to not.
That's not appropriate. Well,
I didn't do it.
so maybe I'm trying to
Sure,
think about takeaways for the universe. Here's maybe what it is. Communication within your crews. And sometimes, I don't know if this was your experience or not, Tuta. I wasn't really teeing you up because you and I haven't hooked up this week at all to talk about your game. The only thing I noticed on TV, and most of it was, or the first half was on radio, was OU just dominating. But sometimes bad communication, or like, I wouldn't even say bad, just those challenges make it feel worse than it really is. But sometimes they create real issues. So
yeah,
communication matters. And the reason I opened up earlier by saying it's tough to know how to fix it, because sometimes we oversimplify it, where we're just, well, we got to talk more, just say everything.
Right. What does that even mean?
Right. That's not really indicative of quality, high level communication between members of a team. I guess again, the takeaway is just it matters. So work on it. Tell your crew, we got to make sure we're communicating well. And then, I don't know, maybe create some protocols or values around communication. What do we care about relative to communication? And then how do we reflect those in the middle of a game? What does that look like?
Yeah.
So,
See, I'm not as I need to figure stuff like that out, DY. You're as usual.
well,
you brought it home and really put a real, I guess a real practical approach to measuring and improving something that seems to be unmeasurable, like some nebulous type of thing, like communication. It's so
it
nebulous.
is.
What is it?
Totally.
And you've successfully
You made it actionable.
Yeah, and I like that. So I have to think through that.
Too.
Well, sometimes it's easier when you're on the outside looking in, So
Yeah.
Something to think about. That's what we're here for. I mean, that's what we like to try to do, is we leave a lot of stuff unanswered because we're not the answer guys.
Because we don't have the answers.
But we do really value creating pathways for growth and improvement. So hopefully we do that from time to time for the folks.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Let's watch a play of football.
Yeah. How about we start with a doggone kickoff? Don't games start with kickoffs?
That's right, baby.
Oh, that was a false start there. Oh, man.
Here we go.
Utah Tech. Here's a school I did not know existed before this very moment.
What in the world?
I've never heard of Utah Tech.
Dixie State is what they used to be called.
That's right. They just changed their name.
Wait, what?
Yes, Dixie State.
Okay, I don't know if we have time for that, but I'm thoroughly confused.
You never heard of Dixie State either?
I feel like I've heard of Dixie State. I dang sure didn't know it was in Utah.
Hey, are we doing a poll here?
I don't know. Are we?
Yeah, let's do a poll.
All right, let's do a poll.
So we've got a surprise onside kick. This is not an onside kick situation that we would normally see. It's second quarter, 10:42 left. The team kicking off is ahead by 10.
Oh my gosh!
So we can talk a lot about a lot about onside kicks. What we want to watch is the hit on, I believe he would be referred to as the right guard of the receiving team. So I know that sounds weird.
Is it the dude who ends up like getting seriously hurt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He ends up straddling the 50-yard line with his backside.
He's not straddling anything.
Laid out.
He's laid out. Hopefully the man is okay.
I'm not sure the output of all that or the result, but obviously we always provide well wishes. Yeah. However, we have to evaluate this hit. So we've got our targeting process up, the 3 elements. And I think this is a really interesting play to discuss this. So we're going to talk about the what, and that's the poll, right? Defenseless, indicator, force. Let's vote on that. While we do that, let's talk about the how. Now,
hey, Brendan, let me ask you a question.
Yo.
Are we only evaluating targeting because the dude got knocked out? That's an honest question.
I don't know.
Because we have a tendency to do that. Oh man, he was hurt. And
Well,
we start wanting to
I believe
attach
that-
fouls to people who get hurt.
No, I hear what you're saying, but I do believe the hit is high. So
Whoa!
I mean,
why are you giving out vote answers?
I'm not giving out vote answers. That means absolutely nothing that the hit is high.
Oh, you
You
mean
can have a high.
You mean
You can have a
hits?
high hit that's legal,
Ah, okay,
right?
okay.
I mean, the hit's not at his waist. It's not at his abdominals. It's a little bit north of that. So, I don't know. I guess I don't know what what your question really is there.
I was just asking a question just to spur conversation.
You're just saying since it's a big hit, let's just throw the flag.
That's what we do a lot
That's
of
not
times.
the poll question.
Well,
That's what
that's
we do a lot of times.
yeah, that's the impetus for this entire kind of poll question, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause we got
And then we justify it. Let's say we get to the point where we say, you know what, that's not targeting. We would justify our flag for saying, well, that guy got hurt. We need to have a flag down on that. And that's just not true.
I always love. I don't know if this is totally one-to-one. The coach like throw the flag, protect the players. I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
it's over. He's
we-
unconscious if I throw a flag or not.
Right.
You know.
All right. Sorry, Brandon. I know I threw you off a little bit there.
You're good. No, you didn't throw me off at all, man. I'm ready. I'm quick on my toes.
Okay. DY is not, as we learned earlier.
Well, we don't need to get into that
Wait.
at this point.
That's a low blow, I think. I don't think that's fair.
Okay, we can stand here on high and say every kick's an onside kick until it's not. I don't know. Do you actually implement that?
I probably don't.
Should we?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either.
if it's not and you're thinking it is, it's super easy to adjust. You've got 9 hours before you have to officiate anything if it's not onside. So I get it. I'm not hostile to that kind of thinking. It's maybe a little over simplistic, right? Like we just need to be ready for that as a possibility when we get ready to officiate because hey, but guess what? We suck at officiating onside kicks whether we're ready for it or not. So I'm not sure that we're gaining.
Well, I think that's a little strong. I would maybe offer that we have a track record that offers the opportunity for improvement.
That's the same. That's colloquialism.
It's true.
For all
I
that
like that better.
garbage is we suck at it, Brandon. That's really
Okay. Anyways, okay. So I agree with you though. If it becomes an onside kick, okay, good. Now we're officiating an onside kick. So do what you have to do, right? If you want to tell yourself this is going to be an onside kick for every kickoff, that's great. I don't have a problem with that. Do it. But do it. I mean, don't say you do it. Do it. If you don't want to do that, then if you recognize an onside kick, let's officiate an onside kick.
I bet you Corey Lexner is the only one in the world who actually does that. I'm pretty sure Corey
He probably does.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Corey's 101, man.
He is. He is.
I want to talk about a few other cliches.
All right. Oh, I love this.
Okay. So hold a beanbag in your hand until you don't have to use it or something like that.
Jesus.
Where are we at on that one?
I can say that I don't do that.
Why or why not? Okay, so you said you don't do that. So why do you not do that?
I think just because I'm comfortable with my ability to respond to what I'm seeing and officiating and throw the beanbag if I need to. I do it on punts. I like having my beanbag in my hand.
You do it on punts. Okay.
I do. I put it in my pocket a ton. Like I don't beanbag fair catches.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do it. I do it. And if I have a KCI, I put it in my pocket, throw my flag and get it back out. So I don't know that it's super helpful, but I've been doing it forever and I'm super comfortable with it.
Okay, again, I'll just say if you do that, fine. Do it. Just know why you're doing it, right?
Yeah.
Just know why you're doing it. So what we don't want to end up with is we got a beanbag in our hand, somebody touches the ball and we just throw our bag without knowing why we're throwing our bag.
Yeah.
That's the failure mode of that cliched mechanic. The good thing about that mechanic, I guess, is the bag is ready to be thrown. So it's ready. It's somewhat,
I would say I know you're not like I get where you're coming from. I totally agree. I know you're not trying to like crap on it. From a punt perspective, I know most of the time I'm going to need it for a PSK position, and it just so I'm going to use my beanbag almost all the time unless it's a fair catch. On a free kick, not so much. Not so much going to need the beanbag. Only in that rare instance where we'll have an onside that includes an illegal touch. I don't know if rare is the right adjective, but so that's a little bit different in that case, and maybe that's why I don't use it on free kicks.
Cool. So, okay. So there you go. Now, the last point, and then let's get to the elements of targeting if we, want to go through that. Good opportunity here. Look at, and this is for our back judges and umpires. Watch our umpire here. And, the whole word is surprise. So obviously we're all taken by surprise that they do this up 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. Once we see onside kick, we got to work onside kick, which would never involve moving down like this to get a spot 15 yards down the field or whatever that is, 12 yards down the field. So this is a good one just to recognize, and then we can get better off this, So if we see an onside kick from the umpire back judge position, DY, I think what I want to do is recognize, it's an onside. I'm just going to freeze my feet and watch what I need to watch with my eyes. I do not need to move my feet for quite a while.
Oh, yeah, totally agree. Yep, that's a great tip.
So, I don't think the umpire saw this hit. Not that he should or shouldn't, but I don't think he did because we're moving down the field for 12 yards here, and then we end up – all we're really thinking about is getting the spot. We say, this is an onside kick. Oh, my gosh. Then we got the spot. We cut right in front of our partner official, which we never really want to do. And so this is just a great one to get better off of, for all of us watching and certainly those on the field. All right. What about the
Hey, Brandon?
Yeah.
If I know my side judge is blind in his left eye, I'm going to cut in front of him all day long.
Okay.
Just a little brevity. Let's go. Move on.
Do you have some inside knowledge about the
no, I don't know anything about
the side judge?
No.
Okay.
He's just saying in general, if that were the case, then he's comfortable.
Yeah. I've seen Daniel Young try to do an eye test before. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't pretty. So if it's between me and Daniel getting the spot, I think I'm going to take that spot.
That's a lie. I tell you what.
Well, if I had to choose between Daniel in stationary position and you on the move, I think I know who I'm going with, and I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're definitely going with me all day long.
All right. Who wants to check out the poll?
Oh, it's nice looking.
Have we closed it?
I'm going to close it. All right. What do we got?
We need Corey.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Easy. I can help. All right. So
he taught one seventh grade math class, and now he's a
mathematician.
Okay, Albert,
is
let's
defenseless. Go. So is he defenseless? We've got 10, 20, 40% of respondents say no. The player who is currently unconscious is not defenseless.
Well, when he's laying there, he's certainly defenseless.
Nice.
Okay.
60.
So of course that means
for you math
whizzes
yes. At home. 60% say yes, he is defenseless.
So not only did I get 9 times 7, I got 100 minus 40 tonight. I'm on a roll.
Good job.
All right, now what would make him defenseless if he was? Or does it?
One thing and one thing only, right?
Attention on recovering this loose ball, or not, or is that even correct?
I think that's absolutely correct. But that's like the drilled down version. The broader football language version is it would be blindside hit in right, blindside in nature.
Okay, well that's where I wanted to talk about. So, so I don't. Okay, I see where you're going with that. So if we judge his attention is on something other than defending himself from this block, we could make this a blindside block.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have to go there, or is this ball in close enough proximity to say that he his focus is on potentially trying to recover the football.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying almost like a defenseless receiver type situation.
That's what I want to discuss.
Wow, that's a great point.
I think we can go there, Brandon, if we judge that.
Okay.
But I don't think we can just be lazy and say the ball is on this third of the field, and anybody who's on this third of the field running in that general direction is attempting to recover the ball. And I know you're not saying that,
Yeah,
but I do
sure.
love what you're saying about a player
great.
maybe attempting to recover the kick.
Okay. So, but if we have question on that, then if on the other hand, judge, his focus is on something other than defending himself, blindside's on the table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Being the recipient of a blindside block is almost, I hate to say this because I hear people say this and I cringe, but it's almost the easiest way out. I guess. Yeah. Which then is that what we see here? Is that exactly what we see here?
Man.
Or should he?
I mean, so let's do this. Before we go there, let's make sure we understand this from our perspective, and I want to be very clear about that. Sometimes we get into this thought process where we feel like a blindside block has to be from the side, and that's most traditionally how we see it unfold, where it comes from the side. So, of course, he has no ability to defend himself. I think the three of us are of the opinion you can be the recipient of a blindside block that really comes from the front, not saying this is or isn't, but similar to this action. And if we as officials deem that your attention is somewhere else such that you don't have the opportunity to defend yourself from that contact, that it could still be blindside in nature. Is that too extreme to say?
No, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. So let's just say this. This block is from the front, so we're not going to disqualify it from being a blindside block simply because of that. That's maybe not where we're at now. Okay. So then it gets hard though, right? Like that, it gets hard to make that determination because, well, which way is his head facing? Everything that's happening in an onside kick is happening in the blink of an eye, and it's all a huge blur. So please don't talk to me about, well, his eyes were on the ball. Right? Now, if you say, look, his hands are down, if the umpire stops and officiates this action, and we say, look, his hands are down at this contact, I believe that he had no idea this was coming, and it totally caught him off guard. I think you can justify it as a blindside block.
I don't like it as a blindside block.
Okay.
So let's compare the two blocks, the one right above it at the hash, and then the one that the guy that we're actually evaluating. The one at the top at the hash is much more of
that's a no-brainer blindside block, right?
Well, blindside, yeah, we don't want to get into illegal. I didn't say illegal yet. Well, it's an illegal blindside block.
It's illegal.
Yeah,
for sure. He smokes him.
Yeah, but the one that you're talking about, DY, I think it's tough for me to get there, but I'm going to be honest. I never even considered the fact that maybe he's focusing on that ball. And like you're saying, his hands are down and he makes almost no attempt whatsoever to take this block on. He just gets murdered.
But isn't there some expectation? Like I mean, gosh, I don't know. This is where this play's happening. I don't know. There's got to be some expectation.
Yeah, so onside kick. Look, everybody's going to get blasted on this play. Everybody who's on that front line, just get ready because you're going to get blasted.
And is it really, just because he was, I don't want to say absent-minded. I really hope he's okay because now I'm burying the guy. But, whether he's absent-minded or just kind of surprised, like it's a surprise onside kick, does that mean contact by the other team is necessarily going to be a foul? That's kind of a weird place to get to. When you're right, if you compare the best one to the block, clearly, next to it, there's a huge difference.
Yes.
So I'm just really not comfortable making this a blindside block.
Okay, and I'm fine with that. Are you in that category, Brandon, where you feel like a blindside block has to be from the side?
No.
Was I just speaking for us?
No, but okay. Usually you can see somebody with a posture maybe similar to this guy, but he's got another item on his to-do list, right? Like he's either kind of scraping over to go grab a pursuit angle on a runner, or fill a hole or something like that, or I don't know. In real time, this is a really tough evaluation as a blindside block to me.
So are you saying he's not defenseless, or are you only saying from an evaluation of blindside block that this is not a blindside block?
I'm very comfortable saying this is not a blindside block. I'd like to dive more into if he's defenseless because he's a potential receiver of this kick.
Right. Which
I'm really not
there's
sure about
overlap.
that
If you draw a Venn diagram, there is an overlap there. If he's focused
Oh,
on
yeah, for sure.
kick,
And that's what I was
kind of
thinking
defenseless.
about, Utah. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I was thinking about.
I'm not sure, I mean, he's moving. I guess he's moving towards the ball.
I don't look. I think you're that's really valid. And then because you could even extrapolate it out a little bit and talk about the teammate player's responsibility. Like, well, he's not. I mean, he is seeking this guy out, but in his it's for him in terms of blindside or not, right? Like, okay, he's facing me, he's coming at me. It's reasonable that I feel like he should be prepared to defend himself from this vicious attack that he's about to receive.
Yeah, and again, we're not talking about the technique of the blocker here.
Yeah, nope. We're only talking about the player receiving.
That's where we get all hung up, especially when we do these at camps. We'll talk about an element, and everybody brings in all the other elements to their justification for why they chose, something or another on one element. It's like, no, all we're trying to do is establish this is a defenseless player receiving the hit or not. Okay, so for I'll just say this. I think this is enough of a parallel to a player like in position trying to receive a pass or recover a fumble or whatever. Obviously, he's recovering a loose ball. I think he's in the process of recovering a loose ball. I've got him defenseless for that reason.
Oh, man.
What do you think?
So I originally was very comfortable saying, no, he's not defenseless. Rudy, close your ears. I want to switch my vote. I think I've been swayed. I think I can. I want to switch my vote to yes, he's defenseless because I do feel like I like that he's maybe focused on trying to get this ball, recover this ball versus because he made literally no attempt to defend himself from this Mack truck that rolled over him.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, DY? I mean, where are you at? You might still think it's a blindside block. That's fine. Oh.
Well, I'm trying to draw the distinction between the two things, right? Like, practically, what is the difference if his attention is on something else, that he doesn't in such a way that he doesn't have the opportunity to defend himself?
I think it's fine what field of vision is
outside of field of vision.
Yeah, what the hell is field of vision? That's why we use that 10-2 philosophy, which we categorically disagree with, like you made mention of, because that's in the field of vision.
I think it's in the field of vision.
It is in the field of vision, but I feel like I could find some examples in the field of vision that you would say, yeah, that's totally blindside block.
Oh yeah.
No, I agree with you. Usually they're coming out from the field of vision to in those cases.
Yeah. I mean, because these guys are lined up the entire, there's no like popping out all of a sudden like a jack in the box. He runs straight towards him the entire play.
Yeah. I mean, so okay, put it this way. If this hit was at the waist, we would never say this is a blindside block. Ever, to me.
Oh, that's true.
I just don't think we would ever say this is a blindside block if his hit's at the waist.
I don't think you would either. So this end zone view makes me wonder, like, how close is the ball?
I know.
And then how close does it have to be?
Just sideline view distorts it, doesn't it?
It does. It's like which and then like how close does it have to be? He's clearly going to recover the ball, but my gosh, I I think he's defenseless. I think he's defenseless. Look, I think he's defenseless. I do. For one of those two reasons.
For some reason, he's defenseless. Okay.
And it's almost like
anywhere.
this weird kind of amalgamation of the two. He wants to go and catch this ball. That's what he's focused on. And he just gets annihilated in such a way that there's no potential for him to defend himself.
Okay. Well, I mean, use the play, man. Use the play with your crews. Have a great discussion. If nothing else, maybe some chairs will be thrown, or maybe that was just our crews from back in the day. But, the discussion is valuable. If you can have these discussions like this in the boardroom, it just makes the discussions on the field, in my opinion, people probably think I'm wrong. I think if you can have discussions like this in the boardroom, little disagreement, little adversity, then you can get through, on the field when it matters the most, which the Salam crew obviously isn't quite there yet with their communication struggles.
Okay, so ignoring that last comment and just looking at some of the comments in the chat. So when we talk about blindside block, and it's straight from the definition, it's an open field block against an opponent initiated from outside the field of vision, or, and here's the part that I think that we can really, this is what a gray area where the judgment area comes in, or otherwise in such a manner that the opponent cannot reasonably defend themselves against the block. So if we say this player is focusing so much on this ball that he does not reasonably have an opportunity to defend himself against this block, then we can call this a blindside block. And then, as we know, a defenseless player is a player receiving a blindside block is defenseless by rule.
Okay, so good rules get there. Now, I want to make one thing clear. That's in Rule 2, correct? Correct. Or is that in Rule 9?
That's in Rule 2.
Now look in Rule 9. Now, there is an exception to blindside block, and I want to make sure the exception is only the pass receiver.
Oh, Rule 9, okay. For illegal blindside block? Well, we're not talking illegal yet. We're only talking about blindside.
Well,
no. We learned this last week. At least I learned it last week.
Oh,
it doesn't have to be illegal blindside block.
Just stop. If this is a blindside block, it's an illegal blind. I mean, he's attacking with force. Come on, I know we're
no, that's not what I'm
spoiling
saying.
Indicator 2, but
that's not what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, Element 2.
A player who's receiving a blindside block is defenseless by rule, not illegal.
No,
it doesn't have to be illegal.
I know that. Okay.
So Rule 9. What are you asking? What are you asking about Rule 9?
Yeah, no, I that's a good point. I see what you're saying. I mean,
we don't have to have a flag down. We don't have to have blindside block with targeting if we get to that point.
Yeah,
I know. I know. It's
if you've got force for targeting, how do you not have force for? And you've got an indicator, and it's a blind. I don't understand how that's not illegal. Anyways, can you just maybe just so I can go to sleep tonight? What's the exception under illegal blindside block?
Okay.
Even though your point is well taken.
The exceptions are, number one, the runner. Number two, a receiver in the act of attempting to make a catch.
Okay. Well, that's not him. He's not attempting to make a catch.
He's not
now, could you
extrapolate that? Principle. It's the same principle.
Right. Could you extrapolate that?
I think you can.
Wow.
So look,
look at this flip flopper.
But this is such a good action. This is one freaking element of the foul, and we've been talking about it for an hour and a half, and everybody wants us to shut up. But this is so good.
I don't think anybody wants us to shut up. I think everybody's right along with us.
Only nerds and geeks are right along with us.
Well, that's who we are.
Well, because Brandon said, like, if he hits him in the chest, nobody's thinking about this as a blindside block, I don't think. And I'm like, gosh, I think you're kind of right. And maybe that's why, because of that element of him trying to go and catch the ball, even though it's not a pass and he's not a receiver and he's not trying to catch it. It's a loose ball. He's trying to recover.
Right.
It's kind of a similar principle.
Right.
Now,
I think he's defenseless. Can I just say that?
Oh my gosh. So we know why that rule is there. If the guy if a defensive back times his hit to a receiver perfectly, and it's otherwise legal,
he's allowed to murder him. He's allowed to murder him.
He can
allowed
murder
to murder him.
without a doubt.
Absolutely. So this feels like the same principle. However, the exception is clear that it's a catch, and we're not catching the ball here. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's a hell of a discussion.
yeah, this is cool. Good catch.
However, what's weird about that is the player in the act of receiving a pass certainly is defenseless. And that's the other thing. You don't need the blindside block rule to make that guy. He's already defenseless by rule. Right. So it's not as if you need to have a blindside block to make him defenseless. Yeah. So,
and I think that's a really good point. I don't know that we've ever had a conversation about, look, gosh, you don't have to be a receiver with a ball 6 inches from your fingertips to be a defenseless receiver necessarily. If you would have said that, I'd be like, I don't know what that looks like, but this is a great example of, I'm comfortable saying he's going to catch that ball, even though the other guy catches it. That's what he's trying to do. And now look, I don't know where that line is. Where do we say, well, he's too far away? I can't help you there.
I don't know. I just see him in the play, making an attempt at a loose ball. Yeah. I got him as defenseless too after all that. But it's a good conversation.
Yeah, that's really good. I like it.
All right. Anything else on that one? 40.
Well, that one meaning that one element.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
20, 40, 45.
Oh, you don't know.
Okay, here we go again. 45%. Element 2, 45% said this is an indicator, and then 55% said it's not.
I'm gonna go. I'll jump off the porch here. I was a no again. I was a no here with this one as well, because I felt like number 4 was simply delivering a block, and then on onside kick plays. I'm sorry, man. Just like I mentioned before, if you're on that front line, you better strap up, because we're gonna be colliding on this front line. So everybody. Everybody's attacking everybody. That's what everybody does. So it's not something to me that's out of the ordinary or out of the realm of normal football on that front line of an onside kick situation.
Are you watching number 4 or number 9?
I'm watching I'm sorry. The dude who knocked the dude out.
Okay, good. That's number 9.
Yeah, I'm
okay,
sorry.
Good.
Not number 4.
No. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just blocking, in my opinion.
Okay.
So I was kind of on board with you, Tuta, from the sideline view. When I watch this end zone view, I feel like that's not the case. I feel like there is a clear crouch and thrust up that is attacking in nature.
I also
it's his job to block, Daniel Young. It's his job to block on that front line. And when they tell him to block, they're just going to destroy people. That's literally what the front line is doing.
I know.
You can
block. But remember,
you can block in the game of football.
No, there's no patty caking on the onside kick. There's none of that. So get that out of here. We ain't patty
You're
cake.
the one that came in with this whole rule stuff. Blocking is a certain part of the rules, and then there's this. I don't know, man.
To me, right here, this angle, I see a duck right there before he explodes. Tuta, I feel like I feel like that qualifies as an indicator.
All right, fine. All right.
There's not much that's absorbing about this. It's more attacking. I think it's relatively high. I haven't thrown my flag, but I think this is an indicator.
All right, I'm fine with it. I'm not gonna fight that. Because I don't have a decent enough argument. It's just
I think your argument is valid. I do. I'm not dismissive of that at all. And in fact, I was on board with that. I just think, and look, how you're going to process that. You don't process it. I don't know why I'm like being so ugly about how we officiate onside kicks, but I'm totally throwing myself into that bucket. You don't process anything about this contact, but in slow motion on video from the end zone angle, I feel like there's something there that if he does that to a receiver, Tuta, I feel like we're going to qualify that as an indicator.
I know, but then it's like, I guess I'm having a tough time making, even though I said he's defenseless, I'm having a tough time making number 82 or whatever that dude's number is. I'm having a tough time making him a receiver. And I'm having a tough time equating what we would see in the open field with the pass play versus what we see here.
Well, look, I think this is worth talking about, and also speaks to kind of your angst. When we typically, especially when we've had our conversations on the indicator about technique, what are we always talking about? Most of the time,
attacking with the shoulder
technique.
Right?
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about how
but attacking technique is all. Whenever we look at it, getting into the targeting realm, 9 times out of 10 is attacking with that shoulder and forearm because they're not really attacking. Ain't nobody wrapping nobody up to tackle.
Well, that's exactly my point. That's exactly what I'm saying is that this is different when we start talking about the indicator because we've become very comfortable relying on, okay, what does the technique look like, and allowing that to guide our thinking around element number 2, whereas this is different from the block perspective. And usually we've also said this, man, this play is amazing. We've also said, I don't know, I think you were on suspension, Brandon, but if you deliver an illegal blindside block, we have an indicator.
Correct.
It's inherent.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And so we're sitting here saying it's kind of not inherent in this, which maybe lends kind of to that piece where, well, maybe where we went back and forth forever about it being a blindside block. But all I'm saying is I think for the indicator conversation and determination, it's different when you're looking at a block like this versus when you're looking at a tackler. And I think that makes it a little bit more challenging and nuanced.
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd we land on that one? Yes, indicator?
Maybe.
Yes, we did.
On the fence.
Yeah.
Okay, now hang on. Let's be careful here with Rule 912B or whatever. This guy's not out of the play. I mean, I know that.
No.
Yeah, Seth is smoking wacky tobacco over there out there in Connecticut. I don't know what he's looking at.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's just be careful. Unless that was just maybe a prompt for discussion, and we can get.
No, he's looking for a way to make this just a UNR. Just like a personal file, and I'm like, I don't see how we can make it a personal file.
No, so here's the thing. I got him defenseless. I have an indicator. We haven't even thrown a flag yet.
No, we haven't.
We've talked a lot, but we haven't thrown a flag.
We have talked a lot. Let's talk about crown of the helmet first.
No.
Is his head to the side, or does he get up under his chin there with that expanded crown of his helmet?
No.
So even if there is some helmet contact, you're saying it's incidental.
Well, as from Daniel Young last week, I was told I can't say that there's incidental forcible helmet contact, but I disagree categorically. But he seems to believe that there's no such thing as that. But I don't see this player leading with the crown of the helmet at all. And to me, that's the first thing we got to see. He has to lead with the crown.
That's the thing.
I agree. Good. Okay,
so let's get 913 out of here.
We've gone through all that to eliminate 913. I guess we could have just started there. All right, now what about the location of this forcible contact?
Now look, let's make sure we draw this distinction. Okay, so 913 is out of there because of that. Because with 913, the indicator is really specific to us using the crown of the helmet. Now we can end up with 914, and the contact can be with the crown if it's to the head or neck area.
Right.
Interesting.
Right? So those we got to. I think sometimes we get confused about those. I don't know how important it is to understand the difference, but there is a difference.
Okay, I know we have a lot of force to the chest area here. Is there enough of this force to the head neck area that rises to the level of targeting?
I don't really see it, but how can there not be? So the only option would be he's unconscious because his head hits the turf. That's not the case. His head doesn't bounce up off this turf. He's out on his way down.
I think there's something that's pretty forcible to his chin. I don't know. I
think that's what it is. I think the top of the helmet bangs him in the chin.
But that's what's interesting. So it's not. We're saying that's not. So if we arrived an hour ago and said not defenseless, he's got to expect this block. What are you talking about? Then what you're saying is this would not be targeting because he's not attacking and leading with the crown. However. Correct. What you're saying is the forcible contact to the head neck comes from the helmet,
from the crown of the helmet.
but it's a 9-1-4 foul.
Yes. And that's why I wanted to make that point, because I
smokes.
think that's different. We can't just say it's 9-1-3 because there's crown contact. That's not I don't think how this is supposed to work.
This is crazy.
I'm looking at this play the same way I'm looking at the play from last week, the targeting play we looked at last week. I see forcible contact to with the shoulder to the chest, and I see incidental potential forcible contact to the head. But I don't see any. I don't see this dude's head getting attacked at all, and I don't see any. I don't really even see forcible contact to the head, to be honest. But I don't know how he's knocked out.
I feel like if this was on ABC with 73 cameras and we had an ISO on it, I feel like you would see forcible contact to the helmet. I really do.
His head never moved.
Yeah, but I don't think that's like I don't think that's just a zero-sum argument. Like, all of that happens at the same time, the chest and the helmet. I see what you're seeing. I see the shoulder to the chest. I see it. But like, somebody's got to explain to me why he's no longer with us.
Yeah.
And this is not good, but I'll be honest. If he just rolls off of this, I'm saying no, that's to the chest.
That's interesting.
Right.
I know you're not supposed to do that. Like, I don't think I've ever made a decision that way, but just watching this on video, it looks like it's a shoulder to the chest.
Well, we have a replay official helping us here, and he can't confirm it.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't seen anything to confirm it yet. Of course, he doesn't have his magical slow motion powers.
Yeah, and I would be really comfortable with that.
So I don't know. Gosh, that it just like where we started an hour and whatever ago. Said, are we just looking at this play because this guy's out cold? And maybe we are. Maybe we are.
Okay,
Maybe
but that matters, right? Like, I don't know why we're dismissive of that. That matters. If he's unconscious, that's probably something we need to be
evaluate.
Why? Yep, probably evaluate that. Not ideal.
That reminds me, last year, week 2, I had a similar situation with RPS. And I'm like, that was fine. A shoulder to chest. And the quarterback came up to me and was like, man, I got smoked. And the dude hit me in the chin. And I'm like, nah, man, I'll shoulder to chest. And this dude has blood dripping out his mouth. I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah. That's not a good feeling.
He's got no teeth left.
Yeah, I think I evaluated the contact wrong, maybe. So,
okay, here we go.
A good point. It is a good point.
Let's go. Let's do our when in doubts again, just quickly through the process. When in doubt, defenseless, yes or no?
Yes.
Agree. When in doubt, is it an indicator?
I like no on that one.
I like no. When in doubt, is it forcible?
You agree with that?
I think an indicator should jump out a little more.
You got to be sure you have an indicator.
Well, are we sure we have an indicator here?
I'm not. I don't like it as an indicator.
I like it as an indicator. I think he attacks him high.
Okay.
High-ish. When in doubt, is it forcible that rises to the level of targeting?
Ooh,
I say yes.
I struggle with that one.
I mean, if I have,
it's yes. It's got to be yes.
Forcible?
It has to be yes. That's the whole purpose of this rule.
Correct.
But the paradoxical part of that is the replay official has to confirm everything.
Right.
So they can't have any doubt, which is
crazy.
I
know. This is
that makes no sense.
So let's work this play perfectly. Umpire position, because I think this is the umpire's call. Umpire position, and it could be the back judge's call from the other side, but that could also be a tough look because this guy he's like L2?
Well, who's going to get number 4 if they leave the blindside block? Who's officiating that?
Center judge.
Yeah, this is a 7. This is crew of 7.
I know this is 7. I know this is 7, but if we're working 8, center judge.
The point is, umpire and back judge have blocks for sure. I'm not sure about the opposite deep wing. Are you working blocks, or are you still just looking for the ball, or what?
Blocks.
You're
blocks
looking,
ball.
Yeah, opposite. But this play side, I know we know this. This play side deep wing who's got this guy is not officiating anything other than the ball, which is what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, so I don't
officiating the ball.
I want to talk about Bill's comment, not the umpire's guy. I don't know if that's tongue in cheek or real. Either way, certainly we would hear that. but on an onside kick, I mean, we just have to work matchups and confrontations. I don't, I mean, we know
given the L numbers, Brandon, I don't think we need to even worry about those L's and all that. That's out.
No. I realize that. I'm saying from practical purposes, the back judge seeing this guy, since he lines up at L2, I'm just saying that's going to be tough, because that's all. I mean, that's just going to be tough for the back judge.
Yeah.
He's going to be looking through a lot of players and trying to pick out. He's probably going to stop at that other blindside block if he gets all the way over there. All right.
And be super happy about that call. Like that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So I think this is the umpire's call. Personally, I think this is the umpire's call, but we can only do that from a stationary position. And I mean, we just got to do our best. So on the field, if I have doubt that he's defenseless, I'm going defenseless. If I have, if I see this, I feel like I've got enough here for an indicator. This is me talking. And then if I'm really, if I'm in doubt about where that contact is, but I have an indicator, man, I kind of think that looks high-ish. Don's giving me a hard time for high-ish. He's still looking for that in the rule book. I'm probably going to throw the flag.
We had a play not targeting. This was years ago. In fact, I don't know if we have any SWAC brethren on the field, but Mr. Eddie Kelly was a referee. And the quarterback's leg was snapped in half.
Oh.
And so I ran up because they were meeting, and Eddie says, man, I think he might have got horse collar. And I said, oh, well, Eddie, his leg is in pieces. So if you think you have a horse collar, you should probably just go ahead and throw the flag. I don't know where the parallel is for that, but seems like there may be one relative to your high-ish comment. Like if you're saying, oh man, I think that was high, I'm just going to say, hey, he's not conscious. Right. He's dead over here. Yeah. Let's just go ahead and call it targeting. We'll be okay.
Well, yeah, because it's still a process-driven approach, right? I mean, if you don't have doubt at all, and it's clearly in the chest, and it's just an unfortunate recoil of the head to the turf, then that is what it is. We don't need these philosophies. But so what have we done here? We've talked about process elements, and then we layered in, philosophy, or I guess I still don't know what you guys are doing with that, but these when in doubts, we've layered in when in doubts to each element to help us through this. Now, again, we're not just, obviously this guy's hurt. What we're not saying is let's just launch the flag. He's hurt. Let's launch it. No, there's just enough here by rule for us to launch the flag. I agree that this is probably, especially with Don in the booth, and appropriately so, this is getting reversed.
Yeah.
You can't prove it. Maybe there's other cameras. I don't know. Maybe there's a handheld that has this really nice shot of that helmet to the side, and you have enough, enough frame rate or whatever you guys talk about to show it with the force and everything like that. But you can't prove it. You can't really prove it. So on the field, I feel like this is a call, and in replay, probably taking it off. I think that in our
based on these angles, I think replay has to take it off for sure.
However, in our other divisions, I don't know how that works for sure, because this would be a halftime review. So I don't know how that works. Is it the same? Do you have to confirm it, or you know what I mean? Does stands still apply for that? Because sometimes video's not as good. I don't know if you know that too, Todd, or not.
I do know that for a particular conference. I don't know for all the conferences, so I'd rather not even say.
Okay. Well, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's by conference. I don't know what different conference coordinators would say to the officials who are reviewing at halftime. But so I don't want to say how
Oh yeah, definitely not any guidance, but just okay. I feel like there is a standard difference.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm be honest, I don't know, because that was a discussion that was being had. So
I got you. So in Seth's conference, targeting will stand if there's not sufficient evidence to overturn. So that's how different.
Yeah, see,
it is, and that aligns with different technology capabilities. That sometimes the video is probably better, quite frankly, but obviously not here. So, it's just, this is such a layered rule, but so I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if we've set a record here for longest ever on a play, but we got to be
my
close.
Gosh, this is one play, guys. What the heck?
I don't know how
And we only got 10 more plays to go.
I mean, yeah. At this rate, we'll be here for 9 more hours, or 10 more hours.
Oh man, this was really cool. What a great play. Gosh, I hope this crew didn't drive by this. I hope they spent some time. Maybe not in a whole hour like we did. That's what Brandon's crew development meeting would be. We'd spend an hour on this. I'd be like, God, I hate this guy.
I taught you crew development meetings.
Yo. But man, this is so good. Oh my God.
Whoa. What did we just do here?
Yeah, what's going on? Here we go.
I love this.
How many fouls do we see here?
What a question.
What a great question.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
All right. Does anybody know how to work like all this number? Anybody really know the numbering exception rule? Let's be honest. Does anybody really know it?
I know it.
Right.
I know it.
I'm
And
gonna
then I
put
don't.
you to the test.
And then I don't.
Okay.
And then I do.
Right.
Right. And then like sometimes I will again.
So Brandon, this was a great find by you to allow us to have multiple polls at one time. So we got our poll number 2 is up too. So first we need to see how many fouls do we see, and then
I'm just gonna guess. I'm gonna guess. Here's
All
what
right.
I got. That's how many fouls I got.
all right. So second poll, DY, since you know the numbering exception. So A0 was one of the personal protectors. He then lined up at the left guard position. Can he line up there?
I don't think so.
Can he shift and line up there legally?
I don't like that.
Well, answer the poll before you start talking.
I did.
Oh, well, quit talking.
Exactly. We're taking a test here, and you're just yelling out answers.
Oh no! Look, you should. If you're out there and you haven't voted, you should put absolutely zero stock in my response. Yeah. No, that's not a thing. Like I don't have the answer key.
Well, this is going to be a great discussion.
You said
This'll
you
be
know the
fun.
numbering exceptions.
Let's just try to get in under an hour.
I don't know. I don't know if we can.
Okay.
What in the world?
I have no idea.
Who dreams this stuff up? That's what
I have no idea.
like you might want to think about not like can you prepare to not be down 22-3? How about that? And then we pull this like what is going on? This is so annoying.
That was personal, Brandon. That's kind of inappropriate comment.
Well, it's you know what? They're putting this in our court of judgment here. They deserve everything they get.
Did they get anything?
No.
Hey, Washington's kind of good. It seems like.
Washington is really good. The Pac-12, by the way. Can we all talk
Can
about
we?
the
What?
Pac-12?
Just have a moment of respect for the
Jeez.
Pac-12.
I think you need a moment of silence is what you need.
Not yet.
That's
We're gonna
later.
celebrate right now.
Later.
We're gonna
Yeah.
party like it's 1999.
They're gonna beat each other up. It's gonna get ugly.
Hey, I took a towel off a kid a couple of weeks ago. It had
Come on,
lettering
Daniel.
on it.
Here you are again. I guess the socks are
serious?
not the same color and all that too. Come on,
I did. I'm like,
I don't wanna
dude, you
work with
can't
you.
have that. It was down to his freaking ankles. It had writing on it. It was 2 inches wide. I'm like, you can't play with that, bro. I did last week. I said, I don't care what
That's
the
an 8.
Salon crew does. You're not wearing that out here.
That's
We
an
do
8.
professional business.
Wow. Is that what we're doing now?
Oh gosh, I didn't mean to say that part.
Wow.
I just like to be in control out there, man.
Yeah. You control
Oh,
it,
my
so
God.
you do socks and all that too, right? You measure socks.
I haven't measured socks yet, but I'm thinking about it. Is that a thing? Wait,
know
do
you
we
will.
measure-
How can I be the only one? Wow.
what do you mean?
I'm looking
Oh,
at
you
my-
have 0
at
fouls?
my- I'm looking at my poll results here.
Yeah, he has 0 fouls.
You have 0 fouls?
Oh no. Dude, I got so many flags on this. Here, we closed them. We closed the polls.
All right,
Come on,
good.
this is ridiculous.
And honestly,
What
the
is
first
wrong with this play?
right, the poll question doesn't. The first poll question really doesn't matter. Let's just
can we just everybody throw a flag? Just everybody throw a flag.
Let's talk about the initial shift.
I will throw a flag. I can throw a flag from out there.
Okay. Good.
I don't know if you guys remember. Years ago, I was given license to throw false start.
No. That was deep wings, Daniel. That was not back judges.
No,
that was deep wings.
No, incorrect.
I'm telling you, it was certainly not you. It was only those of us who are smart enough and intelligent enough to work the deep wing position.
What about the initial shift? I'm sick of you guys.
I don't like the initial shift.
I don't like it either.
You can't sprint into motion.
Well, at the same, not only that, DY, and we can see it. These other dudes take some side shuffling step to the side when this other dude is sprinting forward.
I don't like the sprinting forward. The shuffling stuff is, I mean, there's really no defensive reaction to it. I might have a mention, but I don't think I'm going to get too crazy about that.
Well, there's no hand on the ground, and it's not abrupt or simulating the start of the play.
No, I'm fine. But what I'm saying is in concert with the
all
sprint.
of it together.
Oh, it's all
yes. Yeah, individual, those movements are nothing. They just shifted. There's no problem with that. I'm fine with that. But the sprint with the shift, okay.
That's pretty abrupt.
Okay,
that's pretty abrupt.
I don't like
personal protective.
Look, if we're on the field and there's zero reaction, I can see allowing that in isolation to go. If we bang that immediately for false start, I don't know that I can fuss about it.
I just think we all want to be on the same page. If we're surprised, if we're caught off guard by the movement, it's probably a false start.
Oh, that's really good.
You know what I mean? It's just now that if we're caught off guard because we're lackadaisical in what we're doing, that's different. But
if we're thinking about the post-game celebration,
we're thinking about your ice bath that you're going to need after your next game. So I'm sure it'll be hot. Anyways, if we're dialed in and this guy's like, whoa, wait a second. And he simulates starting the snap by running basically out of the starter blocks in a 100-yard dash.
Right.
That's a false start. So,
okay. So that's one.
Do we have the whatevers to call it? I don't know. We got to all put ourselves in that situation, but nobody's going to disagree. That's a false start, right?
I hope not.
By the punch shield guy.
No, because a false start is, guess what? Simulating the start of the play.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
That's one.
I wish we had a counter graphic so we could just start putting dings up, ding, and put the counter
ding.
Up. All right. I don't know how to draw on this slide here on this video.
You can't.
Okay. At the bottom, there's a dude on the line of scrimmage, on the end of the line of scrimmage. When starter block guy starts sprinting towards the line, he stepped off the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And if we look in the end zone view, I don't know if your end zone view is big enough, there are no players numbered 50 through 79 out there. So what that means is the dude who was originally covered is a numbering exception player.
That's a foul.
Correct.
So once my guy gets off the line and uncovers that player, he is now ineligible. He was originally ineligible by number by
position
as a numbering exception.
As a numbering exception.
Correct. He was legally a numbering exception player.
Correct.
Declared when the center put his hands on the football.
Correct.
Who was properly covered up. Now he's on the end of the line. That's a foul.
It's a foul.
He went from ineligible to eligible.
Correct.
By position. As a numbering exception, you can't do
correct.
That. Okay, that's two.
That's two. All right, who's keeping count here?
Me.
That's two.
All right. So now we have another shift.
Yeah.
And before we have two players who are moving. Here, we're fine. Now we got two players moving. What we know is if two players are moving, both of them have to get set prior to the ball being snapped. Both of them, not one of them, both of them.
And we do have confusion on that at times where let's say, and he actually doesn't, but let's say the guy who's now on the line just in front of the 5, if he's clearly set and the other guy is still moving, still an illegal shift because they were moving at the same time.
That's correct.
However, it's not a foul to be moving at the same time.
Yes,
it's a foul let's be clear. Yep.
That's correct. Let's be clear, though. This is not a this is not a dead ball illegal shift that converts to a false start. This is a live ball illegal shift because all 11 players were set at some point in time prior to the ball being snapped.
Miraculously, they were, yes.
Miraculously, yes.
Yeah.
So you see, that was enough of a stop. Okay, now my man. So now we got that's 3 illegal
That's
shift.
3.
Okay. Let's evaluate the motion by our guy. Now, this one might be a little hairy. I don't know if we want to go with 4 here. Maybe we will. Yeah. The motion
Why not?
man.
At this point.
No, he turned up, but I mean, he's really just shaving a little bit. It's not much.
We would not want for illegal motion.
I would not want that illegal motion.
In my opinion.
In isolation, you would not want to just call that on a scrimmage down.
No.
But since we have like 4 flags on the field already, you might as well. It's
exactly.
probably illegal. There's probably illegal motion there. Okay, now I think we got to talk about 0.
Yes. So number 0, can he line up where he lined up? He started out as a personal protector.
He's a back.
He's a back. Let's see. Where's the end zone angle from here? Here we go.
Okay.
There's my guy. And now he lines up as the left guard. And he's covered up by other people. Can he line up there? 55% of us say he's not legal. 45% of us say he is legal. Sure, he can line up there. DY, you're an expert. What you got?
I don't know.
I'll jump off the cliff. I don't think that's a foul. I think
So in my head, what I was thinking about when we were talking about that was the opposite, right? I was thinking about, well, he's eligible. He can't go to ineligible, which is the total opposite. We cleared that up already. I don't know that there is a restriction from him doing that. I can't think of one.
There's not. An eligible player, he can line up there if he wants to. He's not restricted from lining up.
Which, when you think about it practically, like there's no value added for the offense to create an ineligible player, right? There's no advantage there, so it makes sense.
Correct.
Okay, so here's what it's not, though. He doesn't all of a sudden become a numbering exception. Let's make sure that, not that really even matters. Well, it kind of matters. You could interpret that, but he doesn't all of a sudden become a numbering exception. So whether that's practical for any other play, that's something to perhaps keep in mind when this happens.
No, but Brandon, that's a good point because this coach maybe thought that if I put 0 on the line, he's a numbering exception. So this dude who's on the end of the line who was originally a numbering exception, now he's legal. Maybe he thought that.
That could be. And we just
it's not our business to coach them, but
say, no, coach, that's fine. You do what you need to do. However, when you uncovered that original numbering exception, that was your illegal formation right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure there's a 4th foul because somebody said too many to count, and I want them to be right. Where's the 4th foul?
I don't see another foul.
Something probably happened during the return. I think
all we need is for 13 to not get still prior to the snap, and then we got illegal motion for sure.
That's a great point. That is a foul. So we do have illegal motion by him because he's in motion from the line of scrimmage without getting.
Well, I think he gets set.
No, I don't think
he stops. Oh, you don't think so?
I'm playing the game.
Okay. All right. Let's.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, we don't. Okay, let's put his motion in isolation. I'm not calling that.
No, you're not calling that. It's dang close.
It'd be an alert. It'd be an alert.
I mean, that's one where you got to coach. This guy has got to get still if he's going to move from the line of scrimmage.
That's right. Because they're starting there. It does become an advantage. He's moving out that way, and he's on the line, and now he gets kind of somewhat of a rolling start as a gunner. You can't do that. If you want to do that, you got to get in the backfield. So, and then somebody else has got to be on the line. So, I mean, that's an alert for sure. We would want that on our, I think we would want that written up in whatever protocol for warnings, or I would think that would be an official warning to the team saying, hey, he's going in motion from the line of scrimmage. He's got to get set for just a beat more.
Yep.
I'm looking for 57. Rudy's saying he has 57 false starting. Who is 57? I don't even know if they don't. I don't think they have a 50 through 79 out there.
Is it a PP? Is it a shield guy?
Oh, maybe so.
Oh yeah, it's the guy
next to the punter.
He leans early. That's right. Rudy and I have too many to count. So Although there was only,
I don't think you're calling that, buddy.
we're not
Yeah,
calling
I'm gonna leave that one alone. He barked out the signal. Rudy is bullish on that.
So
All right.
That's something to be aware of.
There we go.
Jeez.
I know.
Golly. What are they doing?
I don't know. So, that there's some value in scouting. I'm dubious on the value in scouting, but I do it anyway. But I think there is some value because we worked this team last week and we saw this craziness. And we ended up having a conversation before the game with the coach about it. He was like, I was waiting on somebody to tell me about it.
Are you serious?
Yes. He said, we've been doing it and nobody's ever told us. He said, I've just been waiting on somebody to tell us about it.
All right, let's go.
All right, man. What's a fumble? We're talking just basic, simple stuff today, right?
It took us an hour to classify a defenseless player.
I know.
Basic, simple.
Basic,
Let's see if we know what a fumble is. So
Okay.
There's two plays, and we're going to see which one is a fumble, play one or play two, or both or neither.
Expand your videos.
We may need to get to the rule book on this one too.
Wow. Wow.
So those are the two plays.
Don and Sergio are all lathered up here.
I know. All right. So for everyone who wants to cheat before they vote, you maybe want to go to rule 2 and ask the question.
Just vote.
Just wing it.
Just wing it, baby.
Sergio says he's oiling up the multi-view monitor. I love how we're oiling it up. Oh man, replay guys are my favorite people. I know I've said that a lot.
That's not true.
What?
No.
I thought you loved line of scrimmage officials.
He loves umpires.
And
He loves
umpires.
umpires
Definitely.
more than he loves replay officials. So wrap your head around
Umpires
it.
and I have a like viewpoint of working the game. We are the ones that manage the football game, not you guys back there on the perimeter.
That's false. I'm not on the perimeter, but it's still false.
You are on the you're on the deep inside perimeter.
You're more of the fringe, DY. The fringe is like less important than the perimeter.
I don't need to respond to that.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta vote, man. I don't know.
You haven't voted yet? Come on.
I gotta vote. I gotta
It's
vote.
easy. This is easy. Vote.
Stop.
So easy.
I gotta
All
vote.
right. Well, hurry up because I'm getting ready to close this deal down.
Okay.
All right, we closed it. So we got 53% of us say play one is a fumble. Wait,
Plus
I got to
the
do the vote.
18. Plus the
yes,
18 that say both. So play one is what?
71%. 71% of us say play one is a fumble. And 30% of us say play two is a fumble.
Yep.
And then 18% of us say neither one is a fumble. Okay. So let's do this. Let's first go to the rule book. What is a fumble? So if we go to
we got to go to the rule book to know what a fumble is.
Yes.
Okay.
FR 30. Well, you tell me, smart guy, what's a fumble?
I can tell you.
A loss of player possession.
All right.
Yeah. I can tell you because I looked this up because of play 82 in the Salam game week 1.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that play.
You never no, we didn't because you said no, there's no fumble here.
Yeah, then you didn't respond and all. Yeah, you had your numbers wrong and everything else.
Okay, go to the.
But I did screw up play 82. Okay, so no, you're right, Brandon. It is the loss of is to lose player possession. To fumble it is to lose player possession. Other than kicking, passing, handing, and all that other crap. So what is player possession then?
Yeah, that's the next question. What is player possession?
Yes, and that I think is where it really gets interesting to me, at least. These two plays really blew my mind. Okay. What's player possession, Daniel Young?
Firm control.
Huh?
Firm control. Basically.
That's what it is.
So if you lose firm control, you've lost possession of a ball.
Yep.
Correct.
So let's take a look at these two plays. And do we see a player losing firm control of these balls? In which play do we see it in? Right now, for me at least, I'm looking at play 2. Would you say that player lost firm control of the ball when it got punched?
He did. I can't.
Absolutely. I say yes, categorically. Yes, he lost firm control. He didn't control anymore. That ball moved.
The ball moved, okay, but also we've said that ball movement doesn't necessarily constitute, let me just play devil's advocate, constitute a loss of firm control.
When hitting the ground, yes.
But when
after
he
establishing
hits the ground,
firm control.
When that right elbow hits the ground, he clearly loses firm control. Are you 100 that he lost firm control prior to that?
I would ask you this. When that ball got punched, there's
certainly movement. There's certainly movement when he punches.
Yes.
There's certainly movement.
So he had control, but I do not see firm control once that
boom. Now he hits the ground and he really loses control.
Ball pops. It's movement of the ball independent of his control. So we know the ball can move within his control.
I see. I don't necessarily, because that is really more when we're talking about establishing possession, player possession, more so than losing possession.
I think I don't know. I think it's analogous to a receiver who establishes firm control and then the ball hits the ground.
And then
and then we have to decide, okay, the ball's going to move when he hits the ground, but does it constitute a loss of firm control?
Right.
I'll tell you this. Live, nobody knows what the heck happened here.
Exactly.
He's just down by roll.
Right.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, I think when he's on his way to the ground, somebody rolls over and you see a loose ball. I think if we're going a little bit, if we're
whatever we go with, I mean, that's fine.
That's
fine, but we're guessing.
So
we are. Okay, go ahead.
I want to look at both of the different plays, and I don't know if I need to pull them both up individually. I have them both cut up individually, but we got enough video here. But I want to go through both of them and see what we think. First of all, number 4, did he catch the ball? I think there's a catch. We have firm. He established firm control.
Yes, control. We turn upfield, try to make a lunge.
Okay, good. I'm comfortable with that as well. Now. So I do see loss of firm control when the ball gets punched.
Okay.
Obviously, it's total loss of control when you hit the ground.
If you're the replay official, you're saying it's defense ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
On play 2.
Whistled it dead. How can it be defense's ball?
Well, we got an immediate we have a recovery in the immediate continuing action.
And one person has IVE that it's a fumble, so indisputable video evidence that it's a fumble. So I mean, if this is indisputable that it's a fumble, then that's Washington's ball.
In my opinion, yes. Based on the definition of a fumble and based on my judgment of the loss of firm control when 11 punched the ball. So I think that's the only thing that we have to determine, right? If he lost firm control when 11 punched the ball. Otherwise, he's clearly down by rule.
Correct. That's what we have to determine.
Yes. So
That's the judgment on that one.
I put myself out there. What do you have, Mr. Cruz?
I don't think it's clear and obvious that he has lost firm control.
Don't say control. Firm control.
I just said that. I don't
All
think
right,
it's clear and obvious that
you-
he's lost firm control.
You had a Freudian slip because you started saying control, then you caught yourself and said firm control.
Okay. So I'm. Yeah, no, I see the ball move. I can't prove that he absolutely lost firm control. I would not call that a fumble. I might call it a fumble in real time because that ball is out, man. And
Right.
I got a catch and a fumble. And now, in that case, that ruling, by the way, is going to stand because I can't prove that he hasn't fumbled the ball.
Right.
With this video, because there is some movement of the football.
Right.
Yeah,
So
no, totally.
I mean, we got to make a ruling on the field. Daniel said we're guessing. Sorry, football world of, we all love this game. Sometimes this is what happens. Whatever ruling, in my opinion, is made here is what we're going to.
Yeah, and look, by guessing, we're gathering all of the information, we're processing it, and coming to a decision. I don't mean like, you know what I mean, like to say that definitively that ball was punched and he lost firm control on the way down on the field. I'm going to go Tuta Salam and say you're a liar. You're just putting
to say on the field
together.
Sure, to say on the field that he's down with control of the ball, you're also lying.
Exactly. Yes, that's my point.
Odds are it's a fumble.
Percentage-wise, you're absolutely correct.
That's right.
By a wide margin.
Correct.
Okay, what about play one?
Oh, no, DY. You're not getting away that easy. You didn't make your ruling on play two. Did this player lose firm control?
I already beautifully explained.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, just to come over the top and totally invalidate Brandon's erroneous opinion. I don't think it's a loss of firm control either. It may be a loss of firm control, but if I'm in the booth and I'm trying to reverse this with IVE, I can't do it.
Okay, let me ask you this, and this is what I want to do. Okay. That movement of the ball, let's pretend like it wasn't caused from a punch, and let's pretend that this is a player who was catching the ball, and let's pretend that he had not established firm control. He was still in the process of establishing firm control. With that movement,
you painted yourself.
I did. Hold on.
He's gonna have firm control first.
Because if he never had firm control, then that's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He stuck the pass. And then as he turned, that little movement occurred independent of the punch. Ooh. Would you say that is a loss of firm control? And I know that's kind of a crazy would it.
It's a weird thing because I would then lean towards he didn't really put it away. I don't know.
No, he stuck it. He stuck that catch. He tucked it. He turned, and then that ball.
If you have that much
exactly
ball movement when it hits the ground after he sticks it, I think it probably is loss of firm control.
Okay, that's all I wanted. I love it. I love when you come back.
I love when you come back. You feel so validated.
I know I am because
totally
y'all are just sitting there lying to yourselves.
I don't like that.
No, we're all great replay officials. I mean, listen to us, but. I'm telling you, on the field, I believe this is a fumble all day long.
Get out of here, Brandon.
Oh, shut up.
I know
you're ruling him down by rule.
He's putting him down every.
Why would I put him down?
Blink of an eye. He's down in the blink of an eye.
What do I know about it that makes him down? Nothing.
Because the dude is grabbing him and he's laying on the ground.
Play two?
No. Yes, play two.
No.
You got him down. Anyway, play one.
I'm 100 on play one. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, this one's easy.
Oh, okay.
So he clearly lost firm control.
Yes.
Okay.
On play one?
I know he's got it between his elbow and his body, but that's not control of the ball.
Well, it's control.
You can't even see the ball here is why you're not going to get that right, Brandon. And you're going to you literally can't.
What are you supposed to do? No, hang on.
Defender flies.
What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to rule down? Because look, you can't prove that he's down either. I mean, like
I know.
So why would you rule him down? I don't understand that.
I don't know because you're dumb.
When you let it, when you're watching this play and you're processing, and you don't want to put your hand up right away because you don't see the ball. When you see the ball, it's loose. It's a fumble.
All of those things are correct.
Thank you.
Right, but it just don't feel like a fumble.
What's officiating standards FO-2, and why do we call them officiating standards?
Nobody knows or cares.
What is FO-2?
I don't know. We're gonna find it. Hold on.
Probably when in doubt, it's a fumble.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't. Wait, is that true? Yeah, that's true. I don't think that's true at every level, though, right?
Oh, I don't know about every level.
Yeah, I think it is. You think
Okay.
it forward backwards pass? That's the only.
Alright.
I think that's the only one that changes. Where the hell are the standards? I don't even know where they are in the book.
They're in the middle, I think.
Why would they put them in the middle? That's dumb. Nobody reads that part of the book. FO2.
Play one clearly lost of firm control. We said that, right?
Yeah, I think we did. So play one is a fumble.
Fumble.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Okay. Oh,
You
Rob
know,
said
and now
he reads the officiating past the middle. I don't read past the middle. I flip right past that.
I read Steve Shaw's interview. Anyways, Q&A. Hey, on play one, does he have to? I don't think he ever regathers the ball, first of all. But let's say that right hand.
Oh, let's talk about this. I've been wanting to talk
So
about this
if
since
he-
week one, play 82.
If he regathers if we do deem him to regather with the right hand, does he have to recomplete the process of gaining possession or not?
Yes.
Okay, I thought we changed our mind on that a couple years ago.
Did we?
I thought so.
All you have to do is go to the football officiating
Help me
manual.
understand.
I think it's in the
Hold on.
replay casebook.
Oh, really?
It's in the football
he
officiating manual.
He clearly doesn't. He does not regather. But if he does with the right hand pinned against his body, it's interesting. It's an interesting thought.
So then if he regathers, so you're saying that there's no requirement for element of time or surviving the ground?
I believe that's what we changed to a couple
I
years
didn't know
ago.
that. Okay.
It has to be an airborne runner. And I'm looking for that.
Oh.
Yes.
Well,
And
I
I don't-
mean, I feel like
I don't-
that's just part of saying he's going to the ground. I mean,
No, because remember they had that play. I don't remember what Duke and somebody, and the dude
Yeah.
was like flying through the air, like 17 feet off the air, off the ground, and he momentarily lost control of the ball. He regathered it, hit the ground, the ball popped out.
okay.
And I think the intent there is that no, that's not. We're not going to call that a fumble if he regained firm control while airborne.
Okay.
And I'm looking for that reference.
Yeah.
Uh,
So he loses the ball airborne. He grabs it with both hands. In that case, then he
does not have to survive.
He
the
has
ground.
not lost possession.
Correct.
With that. That's it doesn't really follow
No,
the rules.
It's
but
totally
that's okay.
contradictory to the rule.
Yeah. But you're
So
saying
wait a
so
second.
once
That
he's
only
not-
applies if he's airborne? Is that what we're
It's
saying?
airborne. He loses the ball airborne
Yes.
and regathers it airborne. He does not. If he hits the ground and loses the ball, he's down.
Well, okay, but if he's not airborne, the ball gets punched and he loses some
And he
firm control,
regathers it?
regathers, and then hits the ground. Do we have to have an element of time?
See, I don't know why
No.
that would be a difference. Okay. Well, you just said it's a difference if he's airborne.
Yes, that's what we're talking about, right? I'm
No.
Well, is play
multitasking
one
and not
airborne?
successfully,
No.
apparently.
Is
No.
play one an airborne player?
I don't
I
like
don't
him
think all
being
this
airborne.
stuff-
I wouldn't call that airborne.
That's what I'm saying. So if look at his is that his right hand? If his right hand is able to pin the ball against his body to establish new control, is it
Yeah,
his right hand?
that's right. Oh, the
it's
left,
his
the one
left-
that comes
it's his
around the
hand.
left.
It's his left
Yeah, the
hand.
left.
It doesn't. Clearly, it does not, in my opinion. So, but if it does he now have to survive the ground, or is he down with the ball pinned to his body instantaneously? Because we're saying he never really lost control.
I'm gonna switch my opinion. I'm gonna say he is airborne because of the way he's flipping around, and I'm gonna
I
say
think
if
he's
he
airborne.
was to regather and repin that ball and establish firm control with that left hand, then I would say then yes, he would. Well, no, he would not have to survive the ground.
That's right. So the element of time, he would not have to complete the element of time because
Correct.
he's really deemed
Okay,
to
but what if
never
he's
have
not
lost possession.
airborne?
That's different.
I don't know. I don't know how you do that.
I don't either, but I'm looking for the doggone reference because I found it this morning and I forgot to write it down. You would think I'll be prepared for this whole discussion, but
Why start now?
I tell you what. Somebody started this saying, "Why do we got to go to the rule books and know what a bleeping fumble is?" And I'm kind of thinking we need to find all these references and maybe publish them.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is crazy.
It's fantastic.
Exactly. I know. It's crazy.
So I know Michael's saying it has to do with the out of bounds end zone stuff. And we could, if we were really on our game, we could show plays from, several years gone by where it's actually in the middle of the field. The running back jumps for whatever reason with control of the ball. He loses control of the ball. It looks and feels like a fumble. While he's still in the air, he puts two hands on the ball and clearly has now regained firm control. He hits the ground and the ball comes out. Once upon a time that he had to recomplete the process of gaining possession.
Correct. And that's no longer the case.
And that's no longer the case now. So it's, I think play one is an example of that personally.
I was dismissing that, Brandon, but I'm kind of coming towards that. I kind of agree with you on that.
I just think he's going to the ground. And I mean, that meets kind of what we're talking about. If he was able to pin that ball with his left hand against his midsection, and the only reason the ball comes out is because he hits the ground, that's the ground causing a fumble in the old days. We used to talk about that. Or I don't know if we used to. Somebody used to. It's kind of the same idea. That would not be a fumble. Now here, clearly it is because the left hand never does reestablish firm control.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I have some homework to do. I'm gonna find that reference. And I'll put it in the comments section.
Dan Foreman's confused. Dan actually quoted Dan quoted what it used to be. Airborne fumble, he has to survive the ground if established new control. Yep, exactly. That's how it used to be. And then it got changed.
Right.
And I don't know why. I mean, but I just think it's easy in replay, quite frankly, but it's pretty hard on the field.
Well, it's super hard.
Yeah.
It's a super intricate detail like we see in play one, or rather play two, that happens at the speed of
the blink of an eye. It's just a simple regular tackle. Dude goes to the ground, and all of a sudden number 11 in purple has the ball. You're like, what? How did he have the ball? That dude was laying on the ground with the ball. How in the world does 11 have it?
Yeah.
I'm
if
exhausted.
You're Superman like Brandon, you're gonna say, "Oh, this is easy. This is a fumble."
I didn't say it's easy. I said I'm really a fumble on the field. I guarantee it. But I'm absolutely exhausted. I don't think I've ever been more exhausted after a VSG session.
Oh, I'm wore out. I'm typically wore out dealing with you two, but tonight's.
Well, no, this is just a different level. This is a different level, man.
Yeah.
So they changed it. Dan Foreman. They changed it. I want to say it was like 19 or maybe 20, but I don't know what. I don't think any work really got done in 2020, to be honest with you, other than just trying to get on the field. So I'm thinking it was 19. I got a headache. I'm like dehydrated. I'm just exhausted.
Yeah, that was
so awesome. Sneak peek. We had another play that we were going to queue up that is really going to exhaust us. And it's replay. So Don and Sergio, come back next week.
Come back and see us next week.
Really, really good play.
It's a hell of a teaser, man. You've been paying attention to my improvement plan for you.
Please, come on. You barely got your keys back to the offices.
Barely. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a long suspension.
It was.
We really considered making it permanent,
and it was well deserved.
Funny. And Sierra just spot on. How blessed is Corey that he missed the session tonight. Oh, Corey's being a dad, so we're happy to have him do that. We probably could have used some of his common sense, quite frankly, tonight.
I know.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. Stuck with us three.
This was awesome.
Well, I really appreciate it. I mean, I really appreciate the discussion. If all cylinders are not firing on this one. These are plays we've done before. Honestly, we've done like all these plays. Although that pump play was weird with the guy moving around all, but
yeah, I've never done that.
About shifts, we talked about motions, we talked about numbering exception. That play just puts it all together. We've done targeting. We've done targeting 1,000 times. We didn't really do a good job on that play, but it was great discussion. We've done.
No, I thought we did a good job on that play.
We've done process of getting possession 1,000 times, and we're more confused than ever. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But it's just good, right? Let's just get back to the fundamentals with some of this stuff. You can work.
Let's talk about holding next week.
Yeah. You can talk about these plays on the field, and then you can do replay. It's just great stuff.
No, but Brandon, seriously, can you imagine? Go ask like a 20-year vet. Go ask your most veteran official that you know. Go ask him, hey man, what's a fumble? And I guarantee they're gonna look at you like you're an idiot. They're gonna be like, what are you talking about? What's a fumble? And to be honest, I don't know if we know what a fumble is yet.
Well, again, these slow motion stop frame videos are great, and it's really good for replay. We do know our officiating standards. We do know that we rarely want to blow the ball dead when we see it, when the first glimpse of it we see is it's loose.
Right.
So that's kind of how we work these plays.
Yeah, let's try not to do that.
But also, gosh, I hate to do this. Brandon makes a really good point. Like,
yeah,
when you look at these plays, the odds are heavily in the favor of fumble.
Yes.
So when you're in this situation and you're this short wing and this is dying at your foot, man,
and you're blocked out.
We gotta process everything we're seeing before we make a decision. And if you're unsure, you're going to be better. You're going to be right more often than you're going to be wrong if you roll fumble.
Well, look at where I think the TV network stopped it just briefly on that play. Umpires blocked out, side judges blocked out, headline judges blocked out. Nobody can see anything. Back judges blocked out. I mean, nobody can see anything, right? The guy's jumping over. The guy's cradling the ball weird. His back's to the umpire. Nobody can really see anything. And the first glimpse of it we get is the ball's loose. And so.
And by the way, this is not the same as officiating the replay. That's not what we're saying.
No.
What we're saying is there has been data collected on these kinds of plays over long periods of time that overwhelmingly shows fumble occurs more often than down by rule.
I think it's in the 80s, DY. I heard someone tell me before it's like 80 something.
That's what they used to say was 80-20. Look,
that's when there's doubt.
That's why the officiating standard exists.
Yeah. When there's doubt, like we don't want to,
which there would clearly be doubt on this, Brandon.
Yeah. We don't want to be going like double action, his knees hit, then his upper body hits, and now the ball's out.
What is presented to you.
Yeah. So that doesn't fit the odds, that play. But these plays, certainly, in my opinion, play 2 does. Yeah, even though, well, I don't know.
I love how it made y'all come back and say it was a fumble. Originally, both of y'all were so strong. There's no way.
No, on video.
This is
if we rule him down, you can't overturn it to fumble, in my opinion.
You cannot.
If we rule a fumble, you can't overturn it.
Both of you two did. Both of you two did.
No, I said I'm ruling fumble. And you're going to stay with it if you're a replay, because you're such a great replay official guy. Now, all of a sudden, I've noticed.
I'll have you know that I worked the Class 4A Louisiana State Championship game as a replay communicator back in 2000.
All right.
Oh, when was that?
It was a disaster.
No, it was amazing. They've never seen better replay officials in the booth ever in the Louisiana Superdome ever.
Well, all right, I can't go on. I'm exhausted.
I gotta go to bed.
All right.
Okay. Have a great
next
game.
week. Yeah, we got some great replay stuff coming up next week. A great play. We'll have some fun with it. Yes, everyone have great games. I
hope the back judge in a certain game down there stays upright.
I know.
Hey, he's ready to go. Ready to go, baby. Maybe. I mean, he will be.
Give it that needle. Good luck, man.
All right.
All right. We'll be rooting for you all.
All right, guys.
Later.
Great job tonight. See ya.